live. So, hey, how's everybody doing? We're here, Dan and I, and we're trying to really give everybody a big picture of what we're doing right now. And what we really want is to kind of highlight all the little parts of our team that have contributed into the creation and where we are right now. And today we're going to be talking with the creator of the logo, pretty much all the graphics. Um, he'll tell you a little bit more of what he does and everything. But Randy, I just want to say thank you from the get go. I just want to say thank you. You
Hey
are,
man, it's my pleasure. It really is.
Thank you.
yeah, man. You've done so much, and bro, like you really do sacrifice your time, bro. Like you really do that.
Oh, that's
And
what I do, man. I like doing that. It's been a wild ride so far, and it's going to be a wild ride to keep going. Just to introduce myself a little bit, my name's Randy Renninger. I'm the owner of Semblance Studios. I also do a lot of work for a company called 420 Print Media, who's responsible for a lot of the print work for Core Values. We do a lot of work and in keeping Core Values looking awesome. That's what we do. We make people look nice. We make people's brands feel nice.
yeah, and when he says feel nice, it's because the brand is a representation of the person or the community that it's a part of. And
Absolutely.
what really did with this logo by itself is he didn't even ask me what I wanted. He just he asked me different questions of what my view of the vision of what it could be and what I just really appreciated in life. And he took all of those attributes that I started talking about and combined it all into his strategy for making this. And for what came out was more than I could have ever even imagined. And and for us to be able to now incorporate the civil peace flag into this, it's just it's become a living thing, and it's all because of what Randy did. So thank you.
No,
Yeah,
thank
man.
you. And just to give you guys a little bit of a look into the branding process, the process that I use, like he said, we don't ask, hey, what do you want your logo to look like? Because you get things like, for Core Values, it could be like, yeah, I want like a guy holding a gun with like a helicopter in the background and like this and this and this. When in reality, I ask, what do you want the company to be? What do you want? What do you want it to feel like? What do you want people's experience to be when they come to your website? What do you want? What do you want the feeling to be emanating off of this logo to be? Because that's what a logo is. It's a objective representation of a business. As you can see with the Core Values logo, it doesn't have a dude holding a gun. It doesn't have an Apache helicopter flying around in the background, because what Core Values is about is a lot deeper than a guy holding a gun in an Apache helicopter. You'll notice a lot of things about the logo. It's super simple. It looks it's very clean and just not overproduced. So Zach, do you want to talk a little bit about like kind of what the logo means? Do you want to go on a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So for what we wanted to do was really from the jump incorporate every branch of the military. So the baseline of it would be the unification of all the branches, because it's not just Marine Corps, because that's what I was in. It's everyone, as the veteran community needs to be a part of this movement. So each branch was incorporated into each of the monoliths. So the way I would look at it, the smallest branches would be, the Space Force and the Marine Corps, then Coast Guard and Navy, Air Force, Army, and then the center monolith makes up the megalith. And this represents the nation of America to me. And this represents the unification of everything around it. And if you can see, it kind of looks as if these are wrapping around to protect this centerpiece. And this is America, in my opinion, or the world it depends on which perspective we're looking at it at.
A phalanx, if you will.
A phalanx, yes.
Yeah. And that's definitely a big part of the shape of the logo. So a lot of what I took into account was a lot of like military monuments you see around. They're usually very rectangular, monolithic structures. And having each one of these represent the branches encircling something in like a looming, protecting kind of way.
Mhm.
They represent the protection and like that 360-degree um, like wraparound, giving defense on all angles. So another thing that came into the logo's design was the Army's 7 core values, which is just another reference to the 7 bars that are the monolithic structures that make up the megalithic structure. Um, and that's a lot of the style you get out of this logo here.
Yeah, I mean, and it be over time, we have ways of incorporating it. The reason why you will only see on the clothing just the logo instead of seeing core values, you may see it later on. But we want to be minimalistic in our approach. We want everyone to feel as if it's not shouting at them and more inviting and allowing people to be curious. If we're just screaming core values and saying the name everywhere, it gets, some people may just be deterred to just based off the name. But if you're looking at it, it's such a beautiful logo. I think the words would take away from just the representation of the logo. And that's really what I want to highlight. Is going to be once we really start growing and really start incorporating more merchandise and more types of branding. The logo is really what I want to highlight because it just stands by itself. It's so strong. It's strong. It's descriptive. It doesn't have to be, overwhelming. And ultimately, my favorite color is gold. Is purple. Wow. My favorite color is purple. So it's for my whole life. Every high school, college, the school colors were always purple. I never knew why, but I was always around purple. And when purple really became my favorite color, I realized it was a royal color. And once this started, coming together, I really wanted purple to be the main focus of this brand. Because if you look in the retrospect of what purple represents, it's a combination of blue and red. And because of our history, we have now become divided into blue and red states, blue and red people, blue and red civilizations. And if we can all come together and unify, we can now represent ourselves in a purple type of identification. And the royal purple was a cherished color in ancient times. It was very difficult to get purple. And once you do have, purple, you can't really get it out of you. It just stays and it becomes a part of you. And that's kind of what's happened with me, with Daniel, and with other members of the team. They're really starting to get incorporated and starting to see that this purple is more than just a color. It's actually a representation of so many different things that actually can benefit society. And just in the color alone is a statement. So we have a color and a logo that both are making a very loud statement. And then it's just, I want to really just commend, Randy for what he did, because this is almost genius.
It is.
It is genius.
Quite the architect.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I like what you said there about the logo being strong, and that was definitely a big thing. I wanted to fill space and give that like commanding presence. And when you think of military personnel, you think of that commanding presence and strength, especially. So that's definitely a big part of the brand. Even in other things, you'll see core values put out with their graphics. You'll see that it has a strong presence, but not in an aggressive sense. And that's a very hard line to walk down. But we don't want to be aggressive people, because a lot of core values thing is mental health and like bringing people in and
Feeling unity.
that sense of community. So it's not an aggressive thing, but it is a strong and stoic thing, and that was definitely a big part of creating the graphics.
And I think if you made it something aggressive, we're trying to not infiltrate, but we're trying to incorporate the civilian community.
Yeah.
And if we're coming at the civilian community aggressively, they're not kind of tailored for that type of approach.
Yeah. I mean, as a civilian myself, I always appreciate that because I'll check out some like veteran podcasts and stuff because I'm interested in the culture always. But it's definitely veteran tailored 90% of the time, and I'm always really happy to see core values being so easy to accept the civilian perspective. And because I mean, we're all people. In the current case, we're all Americans, so it's that's a big part of it. You got to make sure there's support both ways.
Yeah, and I think once you exclude people, then you're automatically, first off, you're isolating yourself. Like if we just took it that we're only going to keep to our niche. So many people, first off, look at yourself. You just said that you like to tune into veteran podcasts because you always, interested in the community because it intrigues you. If we were only worried about our niche, we were missing out on people like you that are interested and essentially could be supporting. But because we're casting you out, we're not allowing you to, be incorporated and feel involved.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
So if we can kind of break that barrier and have people like yourself who are so supportive and want to actually, incorporate the military lifestyle into the regular lifestyle, just because they're so appreciative of what it is. If we can get those kind of people to support us, we're now having a very flourishing community. We're all joining together because veterans are leaders. Even the people that are not leaders in the military, when they get out, a lot of them have the traits and characteristics of leaders.
Yeah.
And
yeah, definitely.
It's innate. They don't even try and, be a leader. It's just natural for them to just,
it's in their very core.
It's in their core. It's their core value.
Of course, spelled CORPS.
The core
In their
cores.
core. Yeah.
But when they have that in them, the problem is they weren't really groomed in the military to use that. They were just groomed to kind of follow orders. And some people, once you got a little higher up, then you got to kind of make the orders. But once you become a civilian, people are just like looking to you for all the answers. And then if you get something wrong, they don't understand that if they just critique you a little bit, you're going to go home and just like dissect that even more. And it's going to make you hate yourself for it because you're pissed that you messed something up. And then you're going back. And then you might be going along, everything's fine, and then you might mess something up again, and then that person or somebody else critiques you, and you just take it and internalize it, and then it gets you to a point of depression, and then you end up wanting to kill yourself because you're just taking these little critiques, over-analyzing it, being so internalizingly like hypercritical, and being like, why did I mess this up? I shouldn't be messing this up. This is stupid. And then you're going back to that environment. And then if you do it again, it's just like, exponentially changing it.
You got to be able to overcome that obstacle.
And that's the thing is, it is an obstacle. And obstacles, the reason it's an obstacle is because some people don't succeed at it. That's what an obstacle is. And if we are creating obstacles, then yes, it is an obstacle, but that means that some people are not succeeding in overcoming that. And those are the people that we're worried about. So in order to get to those type of people, we need to have civilians, people that are on the outside looking in, because we are the demented couple that think that, we're in love and everything's going to be fine and everything will change if we just have a kid. And, you're in an like your brain is completely disattached from reality, and then you need your friend to be like, you're going in a
like,
downward.
Hey, you're doing a bad thing. You need to fix that up.
Doing. I mean, we need that. We need that outside perspective because we're in that group. We are the group that are dealing with these issues, and we need that outside source to be like, actually, you're being really mean to yourself. You're being really, self-deprivating, and it's kind of scary.
I mean, to provide a perspective of balance just as well, the same could be said of the civilian community, because, well, as the military might view themselves as a tight-knit community,
civilians group themselves in small communities as well. Yes. So, I mean, it's they're called factions. They're called corps. That's what it is. And, people become dedicated to these things and don't look for outside sources. And because of that, they lose connection. We're all isolated little groups with no connections to each other. If you looked at it on a circuit board, you'd be like, this is absolutely not working because nothing's interconnected. You have no conductivity anywhere. You're losing it right here because this little circuit right here does not have any wire running to it. So you can't be a functioning computer if your components are not connected. So
Absolutely.
We need to start really incorporating that and getting the idea like, okay, well, you actually aren't against what I'm talking about. You're not against what I believe. You just say things differently than I do. And once I can understand that people, yes, there are different dialects inside of language. So you have people that speak in ways that are understood in their communities, but aren't understood in other communities. So you have to understand, well, okay, we might have two completely different beliefs, ideologies, but we're literally doing the exact same thing. And you're casting me out because I'm not in your inner group, but we're literally trying to do the exact same thing, help the exact same people, help the exact same civilizations, and even help the world and the land flourish again. I mean,
I think a big issue there, what's really missing in society is communication. A lot of people don't want to talk to certain people. They don't want to, integrate with certain people and just have a conversation. And I think that's what's great about core values is it's doing that. It's starting that conversation, and that's like the first step to everything is just opening up communication.
Right. Absolutely, and especially like one of the biggest things, especially with the podcast. What we're trying to do is just listen to people's stories and allow them to really get in depth into what their stories are. We want them to be able to feel that they're in a safe place and can really let out everything that they went through and know that they're not going to get judged for it. And it's actually, appreciated. And it's a cherished moment that we make sure that they know, look, thank you so much for giving this to us because it is impactful information. And what we can do is once we start listening to people's stories, well, what that does is it allows their traumas to be spoken out loud. So one form of therapy is actually hearing somebody talk about what you're going through. And if you hear that, it allows it in your brain to register that, it might be okay for somebody to go through that. It may be okay. Maybe I'm not alone. But once you allow yourself to start saying those, it's okay words, then you actually might start speaking it yourself where it's okay for you to now start speaking about it because you heard that it's okay in your ears. So now you start speaking it out of your mouth.
Affirmation.
And once we can start getting at least breaking that hard barrier of, that wall that we create because we don't want to show our emotional feelings and we're calloused because we've been doing it for so long and we don't know how to do it different. It's just been ingrained in us. We conditioned our brain to respond this way. We don't know how to do it even if we wanted to. You might have withdrawals from doing it and have a relapse and start doing it in places that you never used to act that way before. So in order for you to overcome that, you need to really get in your brain like, okay, if these people are talking about it and they're actually getting people on that have gone through some things and are actually trying to make a change and help the community, then okay, well, that's kind of the same idea that I wanted. I just wanted to be okay and start helping my community. Even if you don't want to help your community, you could still not be, you know, you might not be a negative part, a negative Nancy, you know, you might not be that, you could stop being that person that's always, you know, stating what's wrong in every single situation. You know, a pessimist.
Trying to be putting holes in people's boats.
Exactly. But there's a difference between being critiquing and insulting and advising. There's a difference in it. And the problem with military is we were conditioned that there was no difference. What was given to you is the way it's given to you. And it could be meant one way, it could be meant another way, nobody really cared. But once you go into the civilian community, that actually matters. The way that you tell somebody something actually matters. Like, you can't just tell somebody like, oh, just do this, you fucking piece of shit. I mean, you can, but you can't.
You can, it doesn't get you very far, that's for sure.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But if you're in the military, you're like, oh, he really cares about me. You know, like it's just a different dynamic.
Yeah.
And for people to kind of transition over, and that's their way that they've learned that as an affirmation. Like, people talking shit to them was an affirmation. Like, they were like, oh, I feel glad that you're being mean to me. That means you like me.
You care enough to continue to provide feedback.
Yeah.
And now, like, you can't even act that way towards other people in civilian life. So you feel outcast and you don't even know how to communicate, because that's how you communicated. So it's like, once you start realizing that you have to completely relearn everything, you have to relearn in your brain what makes you happy when somebody says something to you. You have to relearn that. You have to relearn that serotonin release.
I'd deem that as pretty damn stressful.
It's rewiring. Like, your brain it's almost having to break itself apart and then put itself back together. And the healing process of a muscle, if it's torn, is a really long time. Now imagine that on like a huge scale on your brain, rewiring all those neurotransmitters in your brain. There's a lot of emotional pain and mental pain that you have to go through in order for that to happen, because you're losing connections. You lose connections, and that's why you feel out of place and disconnected with everything.
Some people are afraid of that. They really shouldn't be.
Well, it's an experience. That's the thing, is you had to go through an experience to get your brain conditioned that way. You had to go through something, the military. And in order to get yourself out of it, you have to go through another experience to get yourself out of that mental state and put yourself in a new mental state. And most people are just kind of, they're intertwining their past habits and their new habits.
Yeah.
Everything is kind of clustered together in this, big ball. There's no direction on, oh, that was my old life. That was my old self. I am this new person. There's no distinct line like that.
Oh yeah, it doesn't work like that.
Doesn't work like that. You start drinking, in the military. Every reason you drink. You get out of the military, you might stop a little bit, but in your mind, you're not drinking on every occasion, so you're good. But you take a step back in the civilian mind, they're like, damn, you drink a lot.
Yeah.
Like, in your brain, it's completely you're disassociated with reality. You think you're good because you're not doing it as much as you used to.
Yeah.
But then people on the outside, which is why we need people on the outside to tell us, are going to be like, actually, you really drink, you do a lot of stuff. Like, you do a lot. Like, it might not be a lot for you, but that's a lot. I actually never seen somebody do that much before.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and that's where we need to start realizing, okay, well, we need more communication, we need more context, we need more dialogue, conversation. We need stuff that's actually going to be applicable to and rationalized in people's brains, that this is the way it's supposed to be. I'm not supposed to know how to rewire my brain because nobody told me how to rewire it. They only told me how to fuck it up and break it down. That's the only thing they ever taught us how to do, is break it down. And even if you look at like the knowledge aspect of the military, you're supposed to learn a structured format and take tests on that structured format, and they ingrain it in you. So this is your only form of learning. This is it. You can't branch out and kind of learn stuff on your own. You can go to college and stuff, and it would be paid for, but there's a lot of, steps to do that. You have to get permission from your units, from your commands. Everything has to get approved. And you can't use that knowledge and incorporate it into your current job. It's kind of your structure is what your structure is, your MOS, your job, what your job is. Yeah, man, it's just what we really just need is just, people that are honest and real, people that aren't afraid to talk about their issues.
So on a similar note, just to switch gears a little bit, so you'll see in a lot of the graphics the flag in the background, the civil peace flag. I don't think a lot of people know what that is. So do you want to explain a little bit of what that means? Why you put it on so many graphic things? What does it mean to you, as well as what it actually means?
So the civil peace flag was flown in the early 1800s. We don't want to decipher what is and what isn't the correct date. It was during that time frame. But the reason that it was used was because the ships coming into the port were flying the American flag as we know it, which is actually the war blood flag of America.
Battle flag, admiralty flag.
Yes, and the stars and stripes represent they talk about it, the blood of our military that shed the blood. The freedom is the white, the blue is the sea. It's, there's so many things that we were told about this flag, but what happened at that time is they ended up creating a civilian peace flag so that when ships came in, they could show that they were under the jurisdiction that was outside the government. So that war blood flag was actually under government jurisdiction. That's what that flag represented. The civil peace flag represented that you were under civilian jurisdiction and you were part of the civilian society. So there was a distinct separation that happened, and it allowed people to kind of show that the government, if you're doing government operations and you come in, you're coming in with different intentions than if you were coming in with the civilian peace flag.
Oh, Dima wants to be in that live video.
Yeah, we might get Dima live right now.
Oh, wow. Yeah, bring him in.
So, yeah, put him up there. So, where's he at?
Like, I just accepted the request.
There he is. Oh, we got Dima live.
Hi, guys.
There. So, I want our audience to know this is Dima. He's coming live to us from Ukraine. If you check out our YouTube channel, we have a couple of interviews that we had with him on the updates. Dima, I just want to say I am so proud of you, everything that you have done. You are such a hero. I want you to know that I think you are one of the best men I have ever seen in my life.
Hey guys, I try to hear you, but little bit signal is not very nice.
You're a good guy.
We are still alive. We are still alive. We are go to already in the try to shout the occupate from little bit zones what we have in the city. If you know, we have very dangerous and very hard situation in Nikolaev, and we have we try to protect Odessa. It's actually is very very important the city for the Ukraine, and actually the Nikolaev the same. So the last night was very hard. It's very very hard. It's actually the who live outside from the city, you know, the small town like this. I forget how this is called in the English.
Village.
But yeah, now I don't know where I now. It's somewheres in the place. From so very cold in Ukraine now. Actually, we try to evacuation the people from there. Exactly, the Russian the soldiers it's bombs and attack every night. It's stop and do it from in all the day, but is do it all the night. It's actually artilleries and the fly the bombs from for the people and we have now the situation from like the three small cities is don't have a gas, is don't have a power, is don't have nothing there, water and ice. Daniel, I send you for if you remember, I sent you the video of this. Actually, 18% the cities is die, is no more. The Mariupol today is have a bomb attacks in the bunkers where is the people who sit as actually it was the theater and them was like maybe 300 people, but we not have information what now because the theater is no more, is crash everything. How many people die we don't know. It's actually kids and women's was there. So
How many
we try once again.
how many Russian casualties?
Death.
How many what?
Russian death?
The Russian what?
Death. Die.
The Russian death is now is already like at 30,000 or 40,000 people. Yeah.
And,
Is actually is what we know. What I think so more, because it's what we can to count. Because if you know from the tank, is actually inside in the tank is maybe it's 3 or 4 people. But when guy work with javelin, how many people there has died we not can to count, because javelin is is very 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 nice. It's actually the US is very help, and last night we know is one more like full all javelin is like a 300 javelin is coming Ukraine again.
Yeah. How Ukrainian die?
One second, I try to find that way is the sound here because I don't hear you.
I have another question. Zelensky and NATO. President Zelensky and NATO. Did you know
that? Once again?
President Zelensky and NATO?
Yeah. NATO?
NATO. Do you hear about that?
No.
About Ukraine creating its own alliance?
He is here. He is in Ukraine.
Yes. But the alliance of other countries instead of in America.
Actually, the signal. If you hear me, we don't have the signal.
Keep telling us.
Normal.
Keep telling us what's going on. Tell us more.
So what we know from the counter attacks we have in the Ukrainian army is start now. Is do it now. We know from a lot of the position the Russian is actually the guy who is from the Russia, the soldiers is scared, so very scared, because the Putin is said if somebody go back, is need to shout.
Yes.
If the Russian soldiers is going back, the who stayed at the back is will be shot.
Wow.
So this is guy is not can to come from the forward. Is not can to come the go back, because from if to come from forward, the Ukrainian army and volunteers and who we have here, all the soldiers is killing exactly. If this is guys is will be going back, is the same. Is will be shot.
Yes.
So
Wow.
this is from this what we have the situation is now.
Yes.
It'd be interesting to offer them perhaps like asylum if they decide to change of heart and recognize what they're doing.
This little bit is so I don't hear you.
It's okay. So are you able to get more supplies?
One sec.
Supplies.
Provisions.
Food.
No, guys, if you can't, you send me message. I think so, because I don't hear you. The signal is no very nice.
Just comment. I don't know. Supplies. All right, we're gonna send you over this word. Do you get it?
Supplies.
It's okay. You can just keep talking. Keep talking to us. Write it on paper. Well, it might show up backwards. It's all right. His connection's going out. There you go. You're back. It's okay.
That's the signal is so bad, guys. It's so bad. I try to find it somewhere more the signals, and I call you back.
It's okay. It's okay. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
We'll talk again.
We're gonna. Yeah.
Now, guys. Thank you for you. Thank you so much for your help us.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Keep up the effort.
All right. Whoa.
I don't know.
I think you push the X button, and then it allows you to share it. X. Yeah, that's what we did.
Still.
Oh, we're still live. Yep. All right, so we're still live, guys. Still live. Wow. All right, so that was our contact in Ukraine. He blessed us with a live interview. Sorry if we were just kind of spot on the moment. Didn't go as fluidly as I would have wanted it to.
On the fly.
But you know, that's kind of what we do. We just give it to you as we get it, and we allow you to decipher it however you want to. So
I was happy to get that update. I think that was really awesome that he wanted to join in and give us a little update on everything. I thought that was really cool.
Man, think about that. Like, this guy's in the middle of war and he's apologizing for not having good signal.
Yeah, I was thinking that the whole time. He was like, "Oh, sorry, I don't have good signal." I was like,
"That's not your fault.
I didn't expect you to have any signal."
Like, he's like, "I'm sorry, I'm gonna find a better place and call you back." Like, that's this guy's mindset, bro.
Yeah.
Innovate, overcoming adapt.
I'm so, grateful for this man. Like, what? Yeah. Who does that in war? I'm sorry, I don't have good signal. That's crazy. That's wild.
So, brother,
that's crazy. Yeah. So, I mean, 30,000, 40,000, and that's all they know of right now, and that's not including, like he was saying, you have 3-man tanks, and you're taking out tanks, and you're not even counting all the bodies. That was my fault. I shouldn't have asked him about the Ukrainian deaths. That was, a little overstepping. He shouldn't be thinking about that. When you're in war, you need to only think about positive things, because there's so much negativity around you. And if you have any way of controlling that, you need to definitely take advantage of that and do things that make you happy.
And who knows when the last time he might have had the opportunity to smile.
Yeah, he was smiling. Woo, that's crazy. This man's smiling in war, and he's in one of the cities that like they're really going through it. Like going through it. It is war. Like, and he just, oh, I'm sorry for my signal, man.
People here just, oh, gas is high. It's like, yeah. Like, yeah.
It really puts things into perspective. It really does.
Like, wow, that's crazy, man. And I'm just, I'm very, what's it called when I'm humbled. I'm very humbled having, having him look at us as, the bright spot. He looks at us like lights, and we look at him as like
the light,
the beacon.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy how people from other countries, that's what I'm trying to say. So look, if we can connect with people from other countries, then, and actually relate to them with so much difference between us, that's exactly what we're going through in America, is we have the capacity and the capability of communicating. We can do it. It's just some people want to close their mind to allowing that to happen. They automatically shut it down right when it's come out. They don't allow it to kind of build and realize like, oh, well, he's just trying to survive and he's happy that we're who we are and we're happy who he is. I don't care what he's done. I don't care what he's doing. Just the man that he is, the way he presents himself, the way he's taking charge of situations and being a leader, that to me, we can connect to that no matter what language you are, because we can stand side by side. That's the thing, is if we can stand side by side, we're good. That's what makes the military function. That's what makes us so deadly in the Marine Corps. I mean, you have people that are literally attached at the shoulder or at the hip to get their six. Like, you are not leaving the person next to you if it gets down to it. And
they're on the level.
And if we can incorporate that structure, that mentality into, properly organized and directional groups, or what we're creating, our group, what we're doing this the right way. We're doing this with no bias. We're doing this straight from our experience, our knowledge, and the information we get our sources from. We're here that we want to be true to what America was back in the day. Back in the day when America was America, everyone knew what their rights were. Everybody knew. And
I believe we got another Masonic brother wishes to speak for just a second. Got a vouch for him. Brother Adam. Let's see if it goes.
Hey, brother.
Oh, Brother Adam.
Hey, it's Brother Adam. I've been talking to you, man.
Yes, sir.
But, hey, I've been talking to Dima, and he told me to get a hold of you guys. I kind of explained what you guys were saying about supplies. He didn't really understand language barrier, I'm guessing. But he told me they need food, medicine, gas, and supplies. Ammunition, whatever supplies means. I don't really know language barrier, you know what I'm saying? So I figured I'd share that with y'all. I don't want to take up your time. You guys are doing God's work. I appreciate that.
You're
But hope to see you guys soon, man. I'll be in your neck of the wood on Sunday. So,
yeah. Right.
But hey, man, I just want to say, Dan, I've been talking to you a lot. We need to rally people together to help these people out, man. They need us. That's our brother. It means a lot to me, and I know it means a lot to you, Dan. And you're a Marine, Zach.
Yeah.
My family's Marines. I know it means a lot to you. So let's stay behind this guy and keep doing what we can. Lead from the front, just like you guys keep saying.
That's right.
So,
Wait,
anyways, y'all get back to doing what you guys are doing. I don't want to take up your time, but I just wanted to relay that message until he gets signal.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you for
brother.
that.
Hey, man. No, thank you guys, man.
Thank you, brother.
Keep it up. Talk to y'all later.
All right.
Awesome. Wow. So it's so cool to be able to see, people that are supporting, what we're doing. And it's really, we're not asking much. We're just asking it to go back to the basics, just want
the roots.
The roots. That's it. The core, and if anything, we're asking to simplify things, overthinking all these different scenarios. Like, no, just, be true to yourself, be true to the cause of humanity and society, be true to that.
We're going to take the truth, put it on top of all the lies, and get back to where we were.
Yeah. And the truth will be the foundation. That's kind of what we're doing. Like, you can have whatever you want as a base, but if your foundation is really meant to sustain anything, then you can overcome anything that was kind of put in your way for you to fail. And now that we're building it with a community that's supporting us the way that we are, I mean, just because all we're doing is caring, that's all we're doing. That's literally, we have nothing. We have nothing but passion. And we have people that are able to see that passion. Can you click the bottom one?
Dima asked me to go live on the podcast because he kept having signal.
Hey.
So now your cousin Jimmy.
We still got you on there, man. Hey, could you log off of it, bro?
Oh, bro, I'm sorry, man.
You're all good. You're good.
Followers, man.
Yeah, you're good, man. Get us some more.
It's okay. See ya.
All right, brother.
It's all good.
Man, we came on here to talk about graphic design and logos and everything, and we got a lot more than that, man.
Well, that's what we're doing, man. We're just going with the flow. Whatever comes our way, we just take it, give it to the people.
We went with the flow, that's for sure.
Man, it's incredible, man. And wow, just a short time, we were able to, people are caring, and there's people out there that have, that soft spot in their heart, and they've been in pain and hurting, watching everything go down in shambles. And, there's people, we care. All we're doing is showing we care. That's all we're doing.
We ain't going out like that.
Like, we're just reached out to a brother, say, hey, what could we do? What could we do? We want to help. We raise our hand.
Let's move.
And he's like, well, we could help this. And he's like, well, we don't have much, but we could use this. And okay, well, let's get an interview. All right, well, with this interview, now we can start getting a dialogue. And now we start getting more. And then he wants to come on again. And then it turns into him. Now he's
in the middle of war.
In the middle of war. It's a 6-hour difference. So as of right now, it is 11 p.m. at night.
Oh, my God.
It is 2,300 hours in the Ukraine. And he is in the thick of it, talking to us, giving us updated statistics, telling us, he reached out to that man to communicate with us what he was talking about. That's how much he's looking into what we're doing. And he is in war in the Ukraine on the front lines right now.
When brother Dima couldn't, get his words across, Brother Adam, led from the front and got his message through regardless.
And that just shows, like, we're here to incorporate everyone. Like, we're here, everyone here is gonna be a collective. We're gonna do things as a community, which is the way we were supposed to do it from the beginning. We were supposed to be the United States of America.
It actually brings me into another point I know we wanted to cover today. As far as community, your community can be looking forward to the Discord channel coming out soon, where members of the community can communicate with each other, as well as all of us on the team, ask questions and talk to us openly and freely, and be able to get a little more information about everything and touch base as we go. That'll also include things like getting on voice chat with any of us while we're all in the Discord, some live updates through that as well. And I know we're planning on a lot more, but I don't want to spoil too much.
We do have a lot. We really do. There's a master plan to all of this. And, you know, we aren't going in this, you know, treading lightly. We're going out on an 18-wheeler with the brakes cut. I mean, we're coming. And, you know, this Discord, I think, is going to be a great way for us to get that community to start just creating a dialogue amongst each other. You know, we'll be moderated, so we make sure that we keep it, you know, civilian appropriate. But the goal is to, the goal isn't to just kick everybody who's in the military out of a communication with the civilian community, because it's a completely different dialogue. But we need to have more of like a buffer in between it. We need civilians to understand that this is what military members, this is how they communicate. And then we need military members to understand that they can't communicate with civilian people in certain ways. So we have to set up boundaries.
Yeah.
So once we're inside those boundaries, we can play as much as we want to. But once you get outside those boundaries, then you know things need to get dealt with and regulated. But the Discord is what was the handle for the Discord?
I believe it's just core values. Let me check.
I believe so too.
Yeah, it's just core values, but it's not open yet. We still want to add a lot more moderation to it, and you know, checks and balances to make sure everybody's safe in there. Just to, you know, make sure all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted before we put it out to the public. But you guys can look forward to seeing that pretty soon. We're working pretty tirelessly to get everything out so that everybody can get together.
Yeah, and we're also getting out, coming soon is going to be the podcast. We're doing the same thing with that, crossing the T's, dotting the I's, make sure it's the best quality for, you know, the public. It is, you know, we have a wide variety of different things we're trying to coordinate all at the same time. And once it all gets established and the platforms are made, then we're going to be able to, you know, exponentially grow. As of now, we have to grow small. And, you know, if you're getting in on the front end of this, you know, congratulations. You know, you get a chance to watch us grow.
Thank you.
And yes, I shouldn't say thank you. We appreciate that type of support from the very get-go, because, I mean, nobody really knows what we're talking about, what we're doing, and what our intentions are. We're just kind of starting to establish that. And once, once we start getting things kind of rolling, and you kind of everybody starts getting an idea of, whoa, okay, well, this is the movement that we're witnessing right now. Then you're going to really start understanding, like, okay, well, this is a large transition from the old ways into this way. This is going to be a complete dynamic paradigm shift. But the goal is actually to get back to the roots. So,
we're the people.
We the people. And the goal is to view everyone as a person. You know, everyone is a person, whether you're homeless, whether you're military, whether you're an addict, whether you're a CEO, whether you are, you know, a server, a dishwasher, a cook, a man, a woman, a child. You know, everyone has their place. And for us, once that place, you know, once we can start placing people in the right positions, I mean, that's when we're really going to start seeing the dynamic of incorporating the civilian community and the military community. Once we really start seeing that facilitation, you're going to be like, oh, this is what we were missing. This is what was causing America to be disconnected.
There's a void.
The void. This was the void that needed to get fixed in the recipe, was the civilian community and the military community. So once that comes together, once the people come together and realize what is necessary for freedom, what is necessary for rights, when people start to, and the military is the right community to tell them what is necessary for those rights and that freedom. That's who fight for it. Those are the ones who sacrifice brothers and sisters for it. they see, the nightmare of war. They've seen it, and we're going through people that are dealing with it right now. And those are allowing civilians of Ukraine to understand what the military went through to some degree. It's a different being invaded and being an invader, but the idea of war, we now have a connection with a civilian community, and they can speak to us in ways that we understand. And we look, I see you, brother. I see you, sister. I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing. And it's incredible, because now military are like, wow, okay, well, now I see some civilians that I can identify with.
I'd like to speak up just a second in regards to the individuals who've been holding the fort down here stateside, our paramilitary structure, law enforcement. You are included,
Mm-hmm.
the law of the land.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, and we have firefighters and EMTs and first responders and nurses and people that are really the bloodline of America. We wouldn't be able to run without them. And for that's kind of what we're really trying to represent. Obviously, we have a strong passion and a strong enthusiasm, and that's why we're so assertive and want to really push out this message so abruptly. But the goal is to really just have the rest of the nation understand that we are here for the people, and that's it. So Randy, do you have anything going on in your endeavors?
Man, after talking about Ukraine, this seems pointless. But yeah, so I'm a logo designer, graphic designer in general. I do a lot of different stuff. You can find some information. Our website's under construction right now, semblancestudios.com, but the contact form still works. You can find us there, or you can find us on Instagram at, I believe, I'm gonna go ahead and get the exact handle for you here. I'm stuck on the live.
Yes, sir.
The exact handle is semblance.studios. That's semblance.studios. So you can find us there right as the sun is making my camera look terrible. You can find us on Instagram, and you can contact us on the website. There's plenty of ways to contact me. Let me know if you want to talk about some graphic stuff. I do cool stuff, if I do say so myself.
Self-evident.
Self-evident. You got to see it to believe.
Hey.
That's pretty much how Randy rolls.
That's how I do. And it's an
How you
easy
do
to
it.
see thing. It's graphic design. It's it's visual.
You have a Discord?
I have a Discord for my NFTs, but we don't need to talk about that today.
Okay.
Another
Too
time.
much plug.
Too
Can't
much
plug
plug it. That doesn't, I don't like to toot my own horn.
You're kind of good at things. You do
Yeah,
things
I'm pretty all right.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't really know what else should we talk about. Oh.
No, I think we covered a lot of topics, and I want to get off here before the sun completely makes my face unable to see. I got these tall windows in the back here, and the sun at 5:13 p.m. loves to ruin that for me. So
That damn ruining sun.
Hey, I'll never hate on the sun.
Andy, I want to say thank you so much for everything that you've done.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you, brother.
Even speaking with us today and being a part of, having this interview with Dima, that wouldn't have happened if we didn't schedule this. And I'm just so grateful to you. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Again, it's my pleasure working with it. I love working with you guys. I love working for this cause. I believe in it as well. And as far as, I was super honored to be here when Dima got on the call with everybody. It was really awesome to hear everything firsthand. So I don't know if you get to talk to him. Let him know that I appreciate him as well. And he's in my thoughts as well.
Yeah. incredible, man.
And thank you, brother Adam, once again.
Yeah,
Oh,
brother.
absolutely, absolutely.
You know, thank you for, you know, allowing us to know what's needed. So, all right, everyone. This is Core Values, and look out for us in the future.